Hello English 100 class. This is your first video about revising the essay. First, a reminder that revising an essay is a big job, not a small one. It is about 6 hours of work, roughly, and here are the 4 steps for revising. You might remember this from essay 1, read and think more, clarify, beef up the argument with more detail, and then cleanup time. Again, this is a big assignment. It will take you many hours to do a good job because there are many things you have to do in order to have a good essay. Now I'm going to go to Canvas and a reminder about how to find your rough draft with my comments on it. You don't go to the spot where you submitted, which is here. You will go to Grades. Click on Grades, look for Essay 2 Rough Draft, and then you click on View Feedback, and you should be able to see my feedback. So when you find it, it'll look like this. So here's a sample student paper. On the right, I gave you a score on the rough draft, but don't think of this as the grade. This is not a grade, it's just a score on the rough draft. The important thing over on the right is my comment right here. So this is where I sum it up. Read this a few times, and this is the short version of what you need to do to revise your essay. And then on the essay itself, you will see that I have comments. You can click on this button here to look at it full screen, and you'll see that I have little comments over here on the right. If I highlight something yellow, that means you have some kind of proofreading error. So that's spelling or grammar, or maybe your citation's incorrect. In this case, the student has the wrong thing in parentheses. So make sure to really pay attention to these comments and be in touch with me if you have questions. Also, we will have a video conference. You need to sign up for that in Confer Zoom in Canvas. And so in our video conference, we can both look at the essay together and we can talk about all the comments. Okay, so this is your basic guide. And let me go to another Word document. So here is the 4 steps for revising essay 2. And here you can see I put notes in here. These are things I noticed when I was reading the rough draft. So these are big themes for revising essay 2 based on reading everyone's rough draft. So step 1, read and think more. Definitely do the research assignment. Definitely go back into Evicted. Make sure you're using all the relevant chapters. Find more details. You will be adding body paragraphs to your essay, so you're looking for stuff. You're not just looking for stuff about your topic. You're looking for stuff that will help you support your thesis. And I think that's something that you really need to think about for research, is that everything you're looking for in the book or in your own research is about supporting your thesis. So, step 2, clarify your overall argument. Write a precise, detailed thesis that directly answers your essay question. A lot of people need to work on that. In every body paragraph, explain how the information you give supports the thesis. Sometimes I see in the rough drafts that you're telling me something, but you're not really connecting it to the thesis. So a lot of people need to work on focus. So in a focused essay, everything supports the thesis. Some people have long paragraphs that you need to divide. So you need to organize better and make sure each body paragraph is very specific. Use the beginning and end of each paragraph to keep focus on supporting the thesis. And in another video, I'll have an example for you about that. Okay, so that's my overall advice for revising step 2. Steps 1 and 2 will take you a long time because that's where you really have to think hard. You have to find new things for your essay and really work on figuring out what your thesis is and how you're going to support it. So once you've done that work, you can beef up your essay. You'll add more from Evicted. You'll add more from your own research. And I think good advice for everyone is to go slow and explain each thing carefully. Sometimes an example from the book, you can really have a whole paragraph about it. And in the rough draft, you might only have 1 or 2 sentences, but in the final draft, you can slow down and take a whole paragraph for that really good example. Same with things from your research. One really good finding from your research isn't a sentence in your essay. It might be a whole paragraph just explaining it and connecting it to your thesis. And then finally, step 4, once you've done everything else, you need to clean it up. Some advice I have for you, use transitions at the beginning of each paragraph to make it flow from one paragraph to the next. And I will give you some samples and post them in Canvas. Definitely work on fixing all your proofreading errors, grammar, spelling, punctuation, capital letters. Try to think about what your habitual errors are. Online, I don't mark every single error. It's kind of impossible to do that. But I have labeled some of your proofreading errors in yellow, so you'll see that in your rough draft. Introduce sources to the reader to establish credibility, and we're going to have another video about sources. Cite all information in text and do the work cited. Again, I'm going to give you another video about these things. Okay, so you can find this document in Canvas, and that's it for your introduction to revising the essay. Thanks.